Well, on the same topic of you getting air like that, the 5-star frog splash, how did that come about to end up being your main finisher?
So I was doing a split-legged moonsault at the time. In Japan, they call it the Hollywood Star Press. And Ron Slinker, the guy that gave me the name Rob Van Dam and that got me my job in WCW, he was instrumental in the early years. He said, you got to come up with something that's more impactful. Most of the guys I was wrestling were bigger than me. The average wrestler back then in the early 90s was probably, 260 instead of 200, like now.
Yeah.
Now, I it's not the same thing, but anyway, he was saying, that it's a pretty move, but it's not real impactful. It's just kind of like float over on him. And I was wrestling Shanghai Pierce and Tex Slazenger and like, these much bigger guys hitting him with it. And I just thought, man, what could I do to have the most impact? And what could be more impactful than jumping as high as I possibly could and just like throwing my weight with everything down on the guy. So that's what I did. I just decided I'm going to make it my finishing move. And then eventually I started having fun with it and going from the furthest corner, turning in the air.
Yeah.
And now I've come up with a way to add actually more impact, and that's the Van Terminator. So I can come at you with the full momentum of me coming through the air and still get a double leg solid kick to add to the momentum at the end. So I didn't have that to work with back then.
Oh man, that's
Those are
such a
my two most impactful moves, though.
easily. What about the Van Daminator? Not as
Yeah,
impactful.
so one leg instead of two. So,
Oh, that's
it's pretty,
true.
pretty good too, but it's just a little bit behind basically Van Terminator is an upgraded Van Daminator.
Did you ever have a moment where you thought about that, like the naming wise for them and like the signs you just talked about, or is that just
No, I did, for the Van Daminator.
yeah.
I think the Van Terminator, but a lot of my moves, Joey Styles
Mm.
named by calling them, and I would learn what they're called because I would just be wrestling and he would break it down and he would say RVD with a corkscrew 360 leg drop. And I'd be like, that is what I did. That was the 360 leg drop. Cool. So most of them were that. I'm pretty sure he named 5-star frog splash as well.
Wow, the science behind naming the wrestling move Joey Styles. That's great.
Yeah. I loved his
Oh
commentating.
my God. No, it was so good. And there was a while he was doing it just completely by himself too, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I didn't really need a partner at all.
The skill
Yeah.
that must take, yeah. And the
He would
commentary
break
today,
it.
yeah, they have a lot of passion today and it's great, but I feel like Joey was making you every show think he was losing his voice. And maybe he was, who knows? But
Yeah.
he's
The way he broke it down, it was explaining the action that you were seeing in a way that I find comparable to like when Joe Rogan is commentating on UFC.
yeah.
Because you might not know what you're watching, but Joe Rogan's going to tell you, he's going to say, RVD going for a crossface from behind right now. What Jeff needs to do is grab Rob's left hand. See him going for it. Okay, now he needs to twist it clockwise to escape. He'll break it down like that, and I feel like that it was so like it takes you through the experience in such a different way than other people do for you. And that's how I felt Joey would do when he was saying, RVD clearing the rope with a whatever launcher to the outside.
Yeah.
Rewind, recap, relive for over 50 episodes. The revolutionary force in wrestling interviews.